full year and that lets you save.
Who cares?
True Form Life.
Green lookum.
Welcome to Exploring Mind and Body with Drew Tadia. Drew is an expert in nutrition, fitness, lifestyle, and more. And he wants to help you live a healthier, longer, and more active life. Now here's your host, Drew Tadia.
Welcome to another edition of nationally syndicated Exploring Mind and Body. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for tuning in, being a part of our True Form Life community, whether you're listening on terrestrial radio across Canada or around the world as a podcast. We certainly wouldn't be here without you. So again, thank you for being here. Today, I'll be interviewing Josh Sullivan, who's a professional lacrosse player. Super excited to have him on the show. We've been trying to work this out for a while now, so I'm happy that we got it worked out and that we get to share this interview with you. As many of you know, I played professional baseball for many years, so to get a chance to sit across from someone like Josh and learn how it is in a different sport, how he kind of got to where he is today and what it's like to be a professional lacrosse player was super interesting to me. So I talk about health with him and nutrition and travel and what they do to get game ready. So it's, again, super interesting to me. I hope you find it interesting too. Lots of takeaways. So sit back and enjoy. We got all that coming up.
This is Exploring Mind and Body. Naturally improve your lifestyle one show at a time with your host, Drew Tadia.
All right, welcome to another edition of nationally syndicated Exploring Mind and Body. You heard all about Josh in the introduction. Welcome to the show, Josh.
Hey, thanks for having me. Big fan of the show.
Yeah, it's our pleasure. I'm super excited. We haven't had someone like you come on the show. We certainly haven't talked about lacrosse before, so definitely interested in this topic. Josh, before we get into too many details, why don't you give us a chance to resonate with you a bit? Tell us about your background and how you got into being a professional lacrosse player.
All right, sure. So I was born and raised in Red Deer, Alberta. Grew up playing lacrosse and hockey. Actually, I didn't start playing lacrosse till I was about 12 years old. And then, after started playing, just kind of fell in love with the sport. Played all my minor lacrosse here in Red Deer. Then I jumped up to a junior A program in St. Albert. Played there for a couple years, and then I got drafted by their senior B team. Played there for a few seasons, and then I had a tryout with the Calgary Roughnecks. And I ended up getting cut by them. And one of the recommendations from their coach was to go out west in BC and play Senior A. So Senior A lacrosse is only offered in BC and Ontario. I ended up packing up all my stuff and moving out to BC for a couple years. Played some Senior A ball out there. And then, I just got scouted while I was out there and got offered a tryout down in Colorado, which is where I'm at now.
Awesome, man. How long ago was that? Or I should say, how many years have you been in Colorado?
I've been 4 years now. Yeah, sorry, that was a real condensed version of the 12 years of playing lacrosse.
No problem. So you're in Colorado now and you've been there, did you say 4 years?
Yeah, this was my fourth season. We just ended.
Okay. And then, so is there, when it comes to lacrosse, is there a university that you could have played at, but you didn't play at?
Yeah, actually, that's kind of one route that a lot of guys do. And looking back on it, I wish I would have done. But all those, university colleges, all those are down in the States. And, those aren't really the cheapest schools to get at a lot of the time. So I was just kind of, the mindset that right after I finished high school, I went to NAIT. I took power engineering there. And then I was just kind of right into the work field right out of school.
So you were working and playing at the same time?
Yes. Professionally, for the first 3 years, I actually ended up quitting my job out with Nova Chemicals, and I moved down to Colorado. The first couple of years when you're in the league, it's tough, man. Like, unless you're a superstar, you're kind of like in and out of the lineup. Like, you get healthy scratched, and so it's nice to move down to Colorado and be a part of. They've got trainers. There's recovery facilities down there. You do a lot of like events in the community and stuff like that. So you just kind of almost build your brand a little bit more when you're down there.
So you have a better chance to connect with the community and the team and the players. It's kind of like a whole package instead of just showing up for a season and leaving.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of a weird league that way. Like the majority, like the last few years, I think there's only been 8 to 10 guys out of our 20-man roster that actually live down in Denver. And then everyone else flies in and out every weekend, like depending on where they live. The bulk of our guys are from BC and Ontario.
So they fly in just to play and then they go back?
Yeah. So like, for example, if we have a game on a Saturday, everybody will fly in on Friday. We'll have a practice Friday night. And then Saturday morning, we just do a light, like helmet and gloves, shoot around. We watch game film. And then we play Saturday night, and then everyone flies out Sunday morning. So it's just a quick in and out trip. Like it's only an 18-game season, so we usually play like one game a weekend kind of thing with a couple bye weeks mixed in there.
And then, so what are the guys doing for the rest of the time? So you guys don't practice during the week, during the season?
No, we're actually limited to one organized practice a week by the league. Or else it becomes like a workers' comp thing where if you're on the floor more, they got to pay you more. So unfortunately, the salaries aren't really where if the NHL, for example, or anything like that.
So a lot of guys, they have jobs from wherever they're at, and just different so they might have Friday to Sunday or Friday to Monday off. Yeah. So there's a few teachers on our team, a couple firefighters. I'm a power engineer out at Joffrey, so I work shift work as well. Guys doing everything. And I know, like, for myself, I end up working the majority of the summer, like working weekends in the summer, and then you can almost like trade shifts with guys. So like I'll trade guys a couple weekends in the summer for a couple weekends off in the winter time, which they're generally willing to do. Get weekends off in the summer. Yeah.
True Form Life.
Before we get into the show, I just want to mention Complete Truth Protein. This is a plant-based protein supplement that we've designed ourselves at True Form. And the reason I designed it is because I felt like there was a need in the industry. Now, when I was traveling around the world, and I literally had a tackle box full of supplements and products and vitamins that did a whole lot more damage than good. So when I started doing more personal training and fitness classes, people would ask me what types of supplements I would recommend. And I always say, eat food. So that's why I've designed Complete Truth Protein around food. It's made with quinoa and hemp seeds. And one of the main benefits that it offers is improved digestion. So many of us deal with digestion issues on a regular basis. It also gives you a natural boost of energy. So if you head over to trueformlife.com/complete truth protein, we have tons of more details, videos, recipes, and everything you need to get going in the right direction with a good quality protein supplement. trueformlife.com/complete truth protein.
True Form Life.
Nice. So that works out pretty well for both of you guys.
Yeah. So far it's been pretty good.
Okay. So tell me what training looks like. That could be off season or in season. What kind of training schedule do you have to stay in shape or to improve from season to season?
So I guess we'll start with, in season. So in season, we do a lot of interval training. One of the biggest things that I learned, like living down there and working with trainers every day, is, it's kind of pointless to, it's all awesome if you can bench press 300 pounds, but you got to train for the sport that you're playing. So let's go back to, say we had a game on Saturday. So we would fly back to Denver on Sunday. We would almost have a recovery day Sunday, and then Monday, Tuesday would be kind of like heavy load days. So we would lift a bit heavier weights those days. And then Wednesday we would do kind of Thursdays more like lighter interval training stuff. And then Friday's another recovery day before we travel. So during the season, it's a lot of interval training, a lot of lower weight, higher intensity stuff. And then another thing I found that was really interesting was we actually do like crossword puzzles and stuff like that between sets. So,
really?
Like your mind's a muscle too, right? So, even when you're resting, your mind is working and you're trying to like find these words, and then you jump right into the next set. So it's weird, but like you actually get quite a bit like more tired because your mind's not like, you're not just thinking about nothing.
Right.
So our trainer tries to relate that to games, whereas like you go out, you're playing for 30 seconds a minute, you come off and you're thinking about like, you know, like what happened that last shift, what you can improve on kind of thing. And then like, boom, you're right back out on the floor. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And then yeah, post season, or off season is, it's more like heavier weight stuff. Like, I don't know, trying to get stronger, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's interesting. Like that's how I would train. Like that's how we train or recommend training. We actually trained some athletes here at a local college, and it was that. I mean, it was, we didn't do crosswords in between sets, but high reps and light weights, and like they're in season, and all the younger, they're a bit younger, and they like right out of high school, and they're like, why aren't we squatting and benching, and why aren't we setting our maxes? And I'm like, it doesn't work like that. But you know, they have that one mindset of this is what we have to do, and it's pretty challenging to change that mindset. Yeah,
for sure. And like I'm pretty fortunate where like we've got our professional season runs from November to May, and then we've got a summer league that runs from May until September. So luckily I get to play year round, but I kind of have to, you know, choose one or the other. So I'd rather try and get bigger and stronger and, you know, abuse my body a little bit more during the summer season and be a little bit more conservative during the professional season.
So where is the summer season in Canada that you're playing on?
Yeah, so I kind of play in two. Like I mentioned, we have Senior B in Alberta. So that team's up in St. Albert. And then if I'm not playing for them, then I will go out west and I'll be playing in Burnaby, British Columbia, and that's Senior A lacrosse. So it's kind of, I don't know, again, hockey terms, it's almost kind of like the WHL, I guess, the Senior A league, because it's the highest league in Canada, whereas Senior B is like the highest league in Alberta.
Okay, so they don't have any regulations on the leagues that you can play in or how many teams you're part of?
No, because it's interprovincial, so you can only be part of one team in one province. So like I can't play for, let's say, the Senior A league, they play on Thursdays, and the Senior B league, they play on Saturdays. Like you can't play in both leagues. You got to pick one or the other. Okay. So do you guys get help with nutrition? You guys have a nutritionist down there? It's more, we get a lot of help with like supplements and stuff like that. So like our league is, the NLL is sponsored by a company called Rivalus or Rivalus. And so that's just kind of the supplements we use. But yeah, on a day-to-day basis, I just try and, you know, eat as healthy as I can.
Yeah. And is that something that you guys talk about within the organization or within the team is nutrition, or is it not really something that comes up very often?
You know, it's, our trainer sends out workout plans and nutrition like guidelines every week after we play, but it's kind of tough to keep everyone on the same platform because guys are flying out every week. Right. And then back in, they're in and out. Some guys work shift work, some guys don't. So yeah, it's kind of, the eating habits aren't all the same for every guy on the team.
So I got to ask you, I didn't grow up with lacrosse. I grew up playing baseball, which is a bit different because I think you can relate more so lacrosse and hockey, for example. But it wasn't as big. I don't think it was as big when I was growing up. At any rate, I was watching one of the games not too long ago, and the violence of it was like, I was like taken back. I was like, oh my gosh, are they allowed to hit each other? Like what? I was like, why isn't someone stopping this? Is that a common reaction, or is that just normal? Like this is like, it seems like you can do just about anything you want to get that ball.
Yeah. I mean, it's whenever you take somebody to watch their first lacrosse game, that's honestly their first reaction. They're like just kind of wide eyed and they're like, is nobody going to stop this man? But yeah, when you've been around it for a while, I don't know. It's
part of the game.
It's part of the game. Yeah. And That's why I prefer playing defense instead of offense. I'd rather give the punches than take.
True Form Life.
Just want to take a minute to mention Complete Truth Protein again. This is a protein supplement that we designed at True Form. We believe in food. We believe food heals, cures, and prevents. That's why this product is much different than your conventional types of products. Unfortunately, packed with chemicals, preservatives, toxins that our body doesn't know how to utilize, digest, and absorb. So that's why Complete Truth Protein can help improve your digestion and will offer a natural boost of energy. You can find more details at trueformlife.com/Complete Truth Protein.
True Form Life.
So is that something that you guys are placed into, that role of offense, defense, or is it just something that you prefer defense, but you become better at it, and then they're like, that's the position for you?
Yeah, it's kind of when you're drafted or signed, they tell you like this is what you're playing kind of thing. But it's not like you've been playing offense this whole time and they send you to defense. Like you're usually in those roles from the age of, I'd say 17, 18 years old, so even like 16 when you start playing junior lacrosse, because a lot of teams play like an offense-defense type system. So if we're on defense, as soon as we get the ball, all 5 of our guys run off and 5 offensive guys come on.
Okay.
So we don't like, and there's transition players and stuff like that too, but it's a very OD system where it's like, okay, after you're done playing defense, you get off the floor and give the ball to the guys that can put it in the net kind of thing.
So is someone telling you to like you're switching? Like, is it like switch, everyone changes, or when the ball goes on offense, everyone just knows to get off?
Yeah, everyone knows. Like usually when we get the ball and like we turn it over, so say we're playing defense and we get the ball, a couple guys, you only have 8 seconds to get it over half. So a couple guys will run the ball past half where the other 3 are changing, and then 3 more offensive guys come out, and then you kind of switch those other 2 guys out.
Okay. Now I heard that like they have music going and people are going crazy. I've been to a couple younger. I think I was at a Roughnecks game. I grew up in Calgary, I should mention. I think I was maybe you wouldn't be sitting here if I told you that before we sat down here. So I think I might have went to a Roughnecks game when I was quite younger. I don't really remember it too much. Then I went to some younger kids' games that's where I was a bit taken back. I was like, they're so little and whacking the crap out of each other with these sticks. But then, of course, at least at this point in the recording, the Roughnecks are in the finals here, and I'm thinking about going to a game here this weekend. But they said that the music is blasting, and there's the fans are going crazy. Tell me about what that atmosphere is like as a player on the, what do you call it, on the field?
Yeah, court's fine. It's crazy, man. Like I know like 4 years isn't a long time, but like even running out, like, cause you do like the pregame intros and like down in Colorado, like we play out of the Pepsi Center where like the Avalanche play out of. And so like there's fireworks going off like for every guy that runs onto the floor. And like, yeah, it's crazy. But you don't really notice the music too much is the one thing. Cause you're just, I don't know, so focused on playing that, I don't know, you kind of just phase it out. But the music's going, like the crowd is right into it. Like the announcer, like it's not like hockey where they're just announcing during like stoppages and stuff like that. Like the announcer's like in the other team's face, and like if they turn the ball over, he'll like call the other team out on turning the ball over and stuff like that. It's wild, man. It's awesome.
So when you guys travel when you travel in different, like you don't just play in Colorado, you travel to different areas, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And so do you travel as a team or do you get there individually? How does that work?
Yeah, so I usually fly to Calgary. So there's myself, one other guy on our team, and our coach that lives in Calgary. So like us 3 will travel to wherever. But like, yeah, let's say if we are playing in Colorado, all the boys that live in BC will fly together. All the guys in Ontario will fly together, and then we'll fly down there. But yeah, they try and get us there to, I don't know, as close proximity for time. And then, yeah, we all just meet at the hotel and get after it for the weekend.
What's your favorite place to visit or favorite place to play besides home court advantage?
Yeah. Yeah, Colorado's pretty wicked to play. Toronto's pretty cool. Like playing out of the Air Canada Centre. Buffalo is pretty wicked as well. Like both those places pull pretty good crowds. But the Edmonton Rush, they moved to Saskatoon a few years ago, and playing there is one of the craziest places to play. Like it's a pretty rowdy crowd, and they sell out most games. So it's that place is a fun place to play.
It's like the Eskimos. They're always crazy fans at the Eskimo games.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then what about where do you prefer not to play? Is there like a certain fan base that are a bit over the edge, or or maybe you don't want to say for the next time you go there?
Yeah, no, I don't know. It's honestly, man, it's fun to play anywhere. Like it's wicked.
True Form Life.
I just want to mention Complete Truth Protein here once again before I let you go. This is a protein supplement we designed ourselves, made with quinoa and hemp seeds, also maca and stevia. We have 2 different types of products. They both have tons of health benefits. You can bake the original bag, you can bake with. It's perfect for gluten-free flour. If you're celiac or gluten intolerant, we have tons of recipes on trueformlife.com, which include raw protein balls. People absolutely love these ones. We have pancakes, cookies, muffins, all healthy, all clean ingredients. Dorothy puts these together for us on a weekly basis. So if you head over to trueformlife.com, head over to the recipe section. We have all kinds of recipes on how you can use Complete Truth Protein. It's also a vegan and raw product. So if you have any intolerances or if you have any issues with digestion, this will definitely help you out. Once again, that's trueformlife.com/Complete Truth Protein.
True Form Life.
And then, so what's next for you guys? Like, what do you have planned? Is it season to season? How long of a contract do you sign? Like, how long do you know that you're going to be in Colorado, for example?
Yeah, so I signed a 1-year deal my entry year, and then a 2-year deal after that, and then last year I just signed a 3-year deal. So I'm technically still with Colorado for another 2 years after this season. So yeah, that's my plan, but we do have an expansion draft coming up this year with those 2 teams entering the league. So it usually shakes the league up pretty good because each team can only protect like 5-0 guys, 5D guys, and a goalie. And then the expansion teams can kind of come in and pick and choose sort of thing.
So the expansion teams could come in if you're not protected and just come in. So you could be playing somewhere else. If you're not protected, you could be playing somewhere else next year, not even know it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Is that exciting, or is it like a bit scary? Like, I like Colorado, I want to stay here. They could just pluck you.
Yeah, man. Like I love Colorado. It's awesome down there, and my girlfriend's down there too, so she might not be happy if I got picked up. But yeah, sorry, I'm going to Halifax.
Is she from Colorado?
She's from Connecticut, but she's lived down in Colorado for about 10 years now. So
that's funny. I have family that's from Connecticut and they moved to Colorado. I wonder if that's a thing.
Really?
Okay, so you're in Colorado now, and then what's for the future? Is it you just keep playing season to season? I mean, it seems like you're already at the top level. Do you just trying to keep getting better at your skills and that's your game?
Yeah, and I mean, like the ultimate goal is obviously a championship. We've the past 10 years consecutively, like our team, like the Colorado Mammoth, have made it into the playoffs. Like, so every year we're right there, but it's like the first couple rounds are tough because the first 2 rounds are a single game knockout, and then the finals is a best of 3. So yeah, Calgary, like the Roughnecks, they're kind of our nemesis because it seems like almost every year we come up short against them. This year especially, like we finished 4th, so we ended up playing the top seeded team in the West, which was the Saskatchewan Rush. And so we knocked them out in overtime, and everyone's like, all right, like this is the year. And then
that seems a bit short. Like, it's tough to like get a feel, like you don't have a series or you don't get a chance to battle in the playoffs back and forth. It's kind of one game and done. Does it seem a bit challenging to get a feel or to get some rhythm when it's that short?
Yeah, it is. And I mean, that's like not our problem, but one of our issues the last couple of years is we've come out so hot off the gate. Like, I think last year we started like 9-1, something like that. And then towards the playoffs, we almost tailed off. So yeah, with having like a single game knockout the first round and the second round, it's really important to, almost start building momentum and starting to peak near the end of the regular season. And then you can kind of carry that momentum into playoffs.
So, okay. So then the playoffs is only best of 3. So that makes it tough again because you only have, 2 games, right? You win a couple games and you're done.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I guess you got it. It's almost good, I suppose. I mean, like the Super Bowl is 1 game. But I think of baseball and you have a full series. But so for you guys, you got to perform that day. That's all that matters. You got to bring it 100%. And if you have an off day or what things aren't going your way, that's it.
Yeah, exactly. Then it's on to golf for the summer. So yeah, but no one wants to do that.
So if you had, just before we wrap things up here, I know a couple younger guys that are coming up and they're playing lacrosse and really enjoy playing. Maybe they have some goals or dreams of reaching a higher level. You have any message or anything that you would tell them if you had something to say to them?
Yeah, I would. I'd say don't be afraid to take risks. Like I mentioned earlier, I ended up quitting my job out here to move out to British Columbia to play in that senior A league. And yeah, I ended up getting scouted while I was out there and ended up getting an NLL tryout. So yeah, taking risks, I would say, would be one of them. And the other thing, I would say hard work beats talent 98% of the time. Like when I was brought into the NLL, I was a 25-year-old, like undrafted free agent signing. And I'm playing against these guys that are like 19, 20 years old that are like first round draft picks. So, I mean, and that's what my coach ended up seeing in me. He was like, you got some kind of a fire in you. And he's like, I want to roll with it. So yeah, I don't know. That's what I'd say.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. Like in any aspect of life and sports, you get in you get out what you put in. And I think, unfortunately, it's lacking a bit these days. I kind of see in different areas, but if you're willing to put in the time and effort, you're going to be rewarded at some level sooner or later.
Yeah, it's either going to pay off or, you're not going to have any regrets if you're all in.
No doubt. All right, Josh, thanks so much for joining me today on the show. Appreciate your time.
All right, thanks a lot for having me. That was fun.
True Form Life.
All right, that's going to wrap things up for this edition of Exploring Mind and Body. As always, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for tuning in and sticking around till the end. I hope you enjoyed that interview with Josh. Again, I so much appreciate him coming on and sharing some of his time with us. And I hope you get something out of that, because I think at the end is what one of my favorite things that he said is that hard work has got him to where he is today. And I think that makes all the difference in the world, and putting that time and effort into your craft, whether that may be in business or in life or in being a parent or whatever it is. I think that anytime you put in, you always get out as much as you put in. So it's so important to do that and be that kind of person and live that kind of lifestyle. And clearly Josh that's the way he is, and that's why he's been successful and got to where he has been. So any of you younger athletes looking to move up the ranks, or parents that may have kids in the same category, I think that instilling that hard work and dedication to your sport and off season and during the season and always pushing and getting to the next level, that's going to make all the difference in the world. Once again, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to leave you with that. We do have an app that you can download on any Apple device. Head over to your app store, search for Exploring Mind and Body. Download our show and take us with you wherever you go. More details are at trueformlife.com. If you need any workouts, recipes, meal plannings, that's what we do. We help you live a healthier lifestyle, reduce stress, and we have a number of different ways you can do that. More details are at trueformlife.com. All past shows are going up on exploringmindandbody.com. So if you ever miss a past show, you can always check them out there. Once again, thank you so much for being here. That's it. That's all I got. I'm out of here. As always, I'm your host, Drew Tadia, in health and fitness for a better world. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to Exploring Mind and Body with Trueform Life's Drew Tadia, fitness expert. To find out more about the show, Drew Tadia, or to listen to past shows, visit exploringmindandbody.com.